Hello children, how are you? Fine. I hope you are enjoying my video classes. So, in previous class I have discussed about the detail of structure of anther and the process of microsporogenesis. Today, under the topic of sexual reproduction in flowering plant, I shall be taking up pistil, megasporangium, embryo sac and the process of megasporogenesis. So, pistil is an individual part of the structure what we call gynoecium. Gynoecium, otherwise what we call female reproductive part, gynoecium, commonly called as pistil or carpel. The female reproductive part of a flower, gynoecium, can be made up of single carpel or single pistil or more than one pistil. If it is made up of single pistil, then it is called monocarpellary gynoecium. Monocarpellary. If it is more than one carpel, two numerous carpel, then it is called polycarpellary. If it is polycarpellary, the carpel might remain separate from each other or might join with each other. If they join with each other, the condition is called syncarpus, and if they remain free, then it is called apocarpus. Syncarpus or apocarpus condition. Now, let us see the structure of the female part of pistil. So, let me draw a simple diagram of pistil. A pistil having a three prominent part, the basal part which remain attached with the stalk or the thalamus, this basal bulged out part what you call ovary, the stalk-like part called style, and the tip, the landing part of the pollen grain called stigma. You see here the pistil, the basal part, bulging out part, what you call as ovary. This is the ovary, this is the style, and this is the stigma. This tip is the stigma. So there we have now shown separately in figure. It is written simply pistil because of the entire part. This is pistil, and the basal part, the part of this pistil, the basal part we call ovary. This is up to this style, and this tip is stigma. Stigma is the part or portion of pistil for landing the pollen grain, where through the stylar tissue the pollen grain with the help of pollen tube comes to the ovary. Now within the ovary, the cavity, this area what we call as ovarian locule or locule of the ovary. Locule of ovary, this part, this area. Locule of ovary. Within the ovarian locule reside, within the ovarian locule, be very specific, the area inside the ovary, what we call as ovarian locule. Within the locule of the ovary reside placenta. What is it? Placenta. So placenta present within the locule of the ovary. Placenta. In your class 11th standard you have read, based on the type of attachment, there are different types of placentation, what we call basal, free central, marginal, parietal, superficial. These different types of placentation you have read in previous class. We are now going to discuss something detail about with this placenta. The placenta is the attachment through which inside the content are remain attached within the ovule, within the ovary. Now, coming to the point of the pistil, I have discussed the megasporangia. Within the ovary, connected with the placenta, within the ovary, connected with the placenta is the megasporangia. Megasporangia. This megasporangia, otherwise commonly we call it as ovule. Otherwise called ovule. Ovule or megasporangia. Megasporangia. So this megasporangia or ovule remain within the ovarian locule, connected with the body of ovary with placenta. Is that clear to you? Now let me go in detail. But before that, I will show you a clipping. You see here, I have taken an individual gynoecium, as I told you, as I have drawn here also. This is the stigma, the style, the ovule present inside, and this is the ovarian locule, and that is the placenta which is attached with the ovule. This ovule is nothing but the megasporangia, connected with the ovarian locule by means of placenta. Is it very clear? So, if I draw it here, this is the ovule, remain connected with the ovary and wall with the help of a placenta. So, this is the placenta. Now, let me draw a megasporangium, a typical angiosperm megasporangium, what we call as typical angiosperm ovule. Let me draw. So, this is a structure of a typical ovule which present within the ovarian locule, This the part, this is the ovary, this is the ovary, the part of ovarian locule, the part of megasporangia which connected with the wall of the ovule. If this is the wall of the ovary, this is the ovarian locule. So along with the wall of the ovary, the megasporangia or the ovule connected with the placenta by means of a stalk. This stalk is called funicle. And the ovule is surrounded by one or two integuments. See, this is the integument covering the ovule. Here I have shown the two integuments covering the ovule. Entire part except at one end. Now the point of attachment or the point of connection of the funicle with the ovule integument, this a highly elevated part, it is called as hilum. Okay, is that clear to you? Now the ovule, which is surrounded at its all part by means of integument, this is the outer integument, this is the inner integument. At its one end it is open, it is not having any full covering, this part. So this part where the covering is absent is called micropyle. The opening part is called micropyle, and this end of the ovule is called micropylar end. So if I rub this is called micropylar end of ovule. Which one? If I rub this, so this is the micropylar end of the ovule. This one is the micropylar end of the ovule. And the opposite end, just opposite to micropyle, it is called chalazal end of ovule. Chalazal end of ovule. Is that very clear? Now, within the ovule contain group of clusters of cells densely filled with recharged food material, group of clusters of cell. So ovule otherwise called microsporangia. Be very specific. Don't confuse. Same thing, ovule or microsporangia. Covered by integument, having a connection with the placenta by means of funicle, having a notch-like structure which connects the funicle to the integument of ovule, that is the hilum. Now, within the ovule, there are compact group of clusters of cells full with reserved food material. This cells called nucellus. Nucellus. So these nucellus play a very important role during the process of megasporogenesis. Now let me write the term megasporogenesis. Let me rub this part. Let me use a color chalk so that megasporogenesis. What does it mean? It is the process of formation of megaspore or embryo sac from megaspore mother cell. This megaspore mother cell, otherwise called MCC, megaspore mother cell. The process of formation of megaspore or embryo sac from megaspore mother cell is called as megasporogenesis. Is that clear to you? Is that clear to you? Megasporogenesis. Now let us discuss in detail about the process of megasporogenesis. What happened at its micropylar end? So let me show you by the time one clipping diagram. This is what we have drawn here, the megaspore, the ovule structure, hilum, with which this is the hilum, is the connecting part of the funicle to the ovule. Then this funicle, the point of attachment, the outer integument, the inner integument. This is the embryo sac. Now, how the embryo sac develops? How the embryo sac develops? At the micropylar end, means this end. Pay attention here. Let me rub this part now. At this micropylar end, integument. At this micropylar end is this end. This is the nucellar tissue. At this micropylar end, one of the nucellar tissue become very prominent and converted into a megaspore mother cell. What is it? Megaspore mother cell. So, the nucellar tissue present at the micropylar end, entire ovule is filled with nucellar tissue. Now, the nucellar tissue present at the micropylar end become very prominent and converts into MCC. MCC. What is it called? Megaspore mother cell. What is the ploidy of this cell, megaspore mother cell? It is diploid, 2N. Now, this megaspore mother cell divides meiotically to form a two-cell stage, then divides again, second meiotic division, to form from each cell, again divide to form two cell. That means ultimately a 4-cell stage formed. This 4 cells are together called megaspore. So from megaspore mother cell, by means of meiotic division. What is the division? Meiotic division. Meiotic division. By means of meiotic division, first and second, ultimately a cluster of 4 cells form. They are called the megaspore. So 4 megaspore forms. These 4 megaspores are together now called megaspore tetrad. Megaspore tetrad. Out of the 4, 3 cells degenerate, leaving behind a functional megaspore. So this functional megaspore or embryo sac develops. This type of development is called as monosporic development, because of single megaspore, functional megaspore developed from the embryo sac. Is that clear to you? Is it very clear? Which contain the functional megaspore contain, so from the megaspore tetrad a functional megaspore develops within the ovule. Where it develops? Within the ovule. So if this is the ovule, a functional megaspore develops which contain a very prominent nucleus at its center. The prominent nucleus I am showing here. This megaspore, now here also in my clipping also you can see the megaspore tetrad form. First the nucleus divides to form two cell stage, then further division by means of meiotic division, 1, 2, 3, 4 megaspore tetrad formed, and out of that 3 degenerate as I have shown you here. And the functional one called it now megaspore. This megaspore contains a very prominent nucleus. Now the nucleus of the, let me rub this part. Now let me rub this part also. The nucleus of the megaspore will undergo mitotic division. This time what is the division? Mitotic division. So if I separate here this megaspore, this is the nucleus. Now it will undergo what type of division? Mitosis. The nucleus will first divide mitotically, first division to form two nuclei. Then each nuclei will undergo a second mitotic division or mitotic division. Each will form now two. This also will form two. Then a third mitotic division will take place from each, another two. So total 8. So how many times mitotic division takes place here? 3 times. By means of which the single nucleus totally divided into 8 nuclei. And this is a free nuclear division. Free nuclear division. What does it mean, free nuclear division? Free nuclear division means immediately after dividing the nucleus, that means nuclear division, what you call as karyokinosis, and cytoplasmic division is called as cytokinosis. So the karyokinosis is not followed by cytokinosis. That means cell division, cell wall formation immediately doesn't take place. Immediately after complete division of single nucleus by means of 3 mitotic division to form 8 nuclei, then they will start moving in a very interesting fashion. What is the fashion? 3 nuclei will move towards a micropylar end. This is the micropylar end, earlier I have told. 3 nuclei will move towards the chalazal end. I have told this end is called chalazal end, and 2 remain at the center. 2 remain at the center. Now these 3 nuclei, now the cell wall formation will start. Around each nuclei, it will be surrounded by cell wall. So these nuclei will be surrounded by cell wall. Second nuclei will be surrounded by cell wall, and third nuclei will be also surrounded by cell wall towards micropylar end. Now within the 3 nuclei, within the 3 cells, each one nuclei is there. That means now it is a 3 cell having each nuclei. At the chalazal end also, it will be surrounded by cell wall. So 3 cells, within each cell, one nuclei. But interestingly, the middle one, it is surrounded by single cell wall. that is the pair of nuclei here present within a single cell. So it is this two nuclei called polar nuclei. What is it called? Polar nuclei. As if it is present in the pole, that is why it is called a polar nuclei, surrounded by single cell wall. It acts as a single cell. And here three nuclei within the three cells. So three cells, four cells, it is considered a single cell, 4 and 5, 6, 7. So it is called a seven-celled, it is called a seven-celled, 8-nucleated embryo sac. Twice 8 nucleated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But 7 cell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the nuclei, the 3 cell along with 3 nuclei present towards the micropylar end. If I draw it separately here, the micropylar end, the central cell with nuclei is called egg. And the associate two member guarding the egg these two are called synergids. And together egg and synergids together are called, these two together are called egg apparatus. These two, this and this together, it is called egg apparatus. The middle one already I told you, polar nuclei, and the 3 nuclei with 3 cells present at the chelazal end. They are called antipodal cell. Antipodal cell. Is that very clear? And the centrally placed 2 nuclei covered by single cell wall. This is what you call polar nuclei. Polar nuclei. This is the 7-cell 8-nucleated stage of embryo sac development in case of the angiosperm. Now, what will happen when a pollen grain will land over here? The intine will further develop and further process of fertilization will take place. In detail I shall take the next class, or by that time try to remember the micropylar end of ovule which contain 2 synergids. Towards the micropylar end, the synergids are having a special thickening. It forms a structure like this. If I draw it here separately, this is the egg and the synergids having a special thickening. This is a synergid cell. This structure is called filiform apparatus. What is it called? Filiform apparatus. It is this structure helps for the guides for the entry of pollen tube carrying male gamete into the ovule. So I hope whatever we have discussed today is very clear to you. With the help of clipping, I have drawn the diagram also. Here you can see in my clipping within the embryo sac, the nucleus by first mitotic division divided into two nucleus. These are free nuclear division as I told. Then second mitotic division, each nucleus divided into two, so total 4 nucleus. Third, so how many mitotic division takes place within the embryo sac? How many mitotic division takes place? 3 consecutive mitotic division, and it's a free nuclear division. That means only karyokinesis takes place, not immediately followed by cytokinesis. So first division, each nucleus to 2 nuclei, each nucleus divided into 2 nucleus. Second division, each nucleus 2, total 4 nucleus. Third, each 1 to 2, so total clusters of 8 nuclei, and they are arranged 3 at the microbial end, 3 at the chalagal end, and 2 at the mid. These 2 are called polar nuclei. These are egg apparatus which contain egg and 2 synergies. These are the antipodal cell. This is the structure again shown here. So I hope you got a very clear concept about the structure and events of microsporogenesis, the mechanism, how the microspore mother cell getting converted into microspore, and within that microspore how the nuclear division takes place, thereby forming egg and the polar nucleus. This egg will after fertilization convert into zygote and polar nuclei into primary endosperm, which I will take up in the next class. Till then, bye. Thank you.